Coach, I know you can only do so much in one day, but how did Jimmy look out there?
I mean, you just pick a world that's simple and, one or two looks out of the structure that we have that's simple and just try to be good at not too much. And, crunch time plays. If it's a close game tonight, like what are the one or two things we're going to do to play out of that environment? And just expect it's going to be drip fed over, a long period of time where he feels comfortable on both sides of the ball. But today was about picking less is more. And in close game situations, this is what we're looking for. And in that environment, he picks up stuff really quickly. It's obvious that he's been doing this for a long time.
Is there a minute restriction that you think, or a minute range you'd like to see Jimmy play tonight?
No, there is no minute restriction. And in relation to what range do I hope to play him within, I feel like the game is going to, tell me. And the only thing I do know is on the other end, there is no minute restriction.
Brett, you've had Joel and Ben here from the moment they entered the league. Now you have this third start, and he's already an established guy. How is that dynamic different for you as a coach? Is it different when you have somebody coming in from the outside as opposed to somebody you can bring up through the system that you guys have established?
It's different in the fact that there is a talented dynamic that's coming into the program, and it's now my job to integrate him into the program, to tap into his skill sets and put him in a position to do well and help the team win. That is different from coaching human beings and coaching the players and, correcting and teaching and talking. There is zero difference to me. But the inclusion of him from a talent perspective, yes, there is. The dynamics of personalities and profiles, that's just part of the human side of coaching anyways. It's just in a different form. So to me, that's not the different side of it. The different side of it is taking his skill package and growing him thoughtfully and not overloading him with too much information. That side of it interests me.
Did you guys do anything with him as a team when he got here last night? Just demeanor-wise, how did he seem in his first shoot-around?
I mean, we welcomed them both. And, Justin and Jimmy, we had a team dinner, and it was fantastic, just to get the whole group, the traveling party, coaches and teammates and medical staff, the whole traveling party, to bring everybody out to dinner, to welcome those two, and to share a night with the group is always one of my favorite parts of coaching basketball. The relational side, the team building side is something that I really enjoy and is necessary. And so we were fortunate that the schedule last night allowed us to do that, and we did it.
Coach, how about a starting lineup tonight? Have you decided?
We'll go with Ben Simmons and J.J. Redick and Jimmy Butler and Wilson Chandler and Joel Embiid. So that's Ben Simmons and J.J. Redick and Jimmy Butler and Wilson Chandler and Joel Embiid. And we'll go with that starting group.
And what do you think Markel's role is tonight?
Kind of what it's, what it has been. He's a point guard. He's a point guard. And I think that when we all really study what he's done as a point guard and what he's done with his defense, that we'll probably get less hung up on his shot. And he has been excellent in both of those areas as a point guard and as an NBA defensive player. Then I don't know if that gets discussed much. And so that will be the role that I put him in and continue to grow him in. And I think that he's improving. I really think he's getting better in those areas. And really, if you zoom into his shots after the shot everybody talks about, there was no back down. He rose up and shot it. And so I think those types of things need to be, considered as we all assess Markel folks.
Have you talked to Ben at all about how he can operate a little more off the ball? You talk about Jimmy and crunch time.
We know he's an isolation player, pick and roll guy. Have you spoken with Ben about how he can take advantage of being off the ball more?
A little bit. You know, this has happened quite quickly, and I think it's going to evolve. The foundation's going to settle over time. Everything is going to, I think, be clearer the more patient and, you know, observant we are. Obviously, I have in my mind what I want to do and what I think, and repetitively, players teach you, and so Ben's evolution playing with Jimmy Butler, we're going to see some things that the game speaks to us, that he's going to uncover himself, and we're all going to learn how to play with Jimmy Butler, and Ben's going to be no different. I think as far as playing off the ball and sneaking around behind backboards and like creating that spacing spot that I have him in currently, that's not going to change much from where he is. You know, he's very elusive and 6'10" behind the backboard, and I think can do some things, either getting behind people's heads or becoming a very sort of slippery offensive rebounder.
How's Markel taking it?
He's great. He's great. You know, he understands, and we can't say this enough. Elton said it the other day. He's got so many people in this program that genuinely care for him. He is one of the team favorites. Just look at how they respond to him. Everybody wants Markel Fultz to do well, and they understand that he's 20 years old and has come in with a tremendous amount of expectation. We all get it. But I feel Markel Fultz is surrounded by insulation with friends and team family, and my judgment, Keith, is that he's fine with it. He's done nothing wrong. He's done nothing wrong. The circumstances was that we brought in a player like Jimmy Butler, and as I've said from day one, it was going to be my call on how I handle this, whether it's Jimmy Butler or not. This is my decision, and we'll move on with it.
What type of energy is the addition of a player like this? I mean, did you feel anything today, last night? Like, what type of energy are you getting from the guys when you add something like this?
I mean, the energy we all feel. It's not just the guys. It's the city. It's the coaching staff. It's the admittance and the excitement of looking back where we were and now where we are. To be able to look at the table last night, somebody asked me about, you know, what do we do? We had a team dinner. I'm looking 2 tables over, and I'm seeing in between Ben and Joel, Jimmy Butler eating with those guys. That's a different sight. That's a really different sight. And I think that there is just a real excitement that we got better. We might have gotten significantly better. And it sure is different from where we have been.
Jimmy was in 2 places with one coach, and he got traded to follow Tibbs to Minneapolis, and after a little more than a year, it got to the point where he felt he needed to be traded again. What do you take from that as a coach? I mean, this was somebody in Tibbs who obviously liked him and wanted him to be part of the team, and for whatever reason, it didn't last all that long.
You know what? I hear the question, and to ignore it, I'm not doing that. I hear your question. But it's coaching in the NBA. And there are personalities that you have to deal with. And there are personalities that it's your responsibility to like work with and integrate and all that. And I'm not intimidated by any of it. Like, I think that the culture that we have built here can absorb a lot of different things. And the thing I respect most about Jimmy Butler is, and I've said this, he really does care about winning. He certainly competes. And, you know, you look all around the league, and there are different personalities and stories. Joel is a different personality. And so the notion of what you're suggesting and the challenge of what you're saying, I understand. But personally, I'm excited because I feel the ingredients, the human qualities that he does have point toward winning, and they point toward competing. And that's a hell of a starting base for me.
Thanks, Brett. Last one.
Like a practice day. Was he talkative? Was he quiet? Was he soaking things in? Was he
He's
asking
Jimmy
questions?
Butler. He was talkative, you know. He's asking questions and, you know, asking questions and talking and, you know, listening to new verbiage and words. I don't care how long you've been in the NBA. All coaching staffs, all coaches have their own terminology. It's part of the challenge of growing a culture. You know, fortunately for me, I've been here for 6 years, and a large majority of my staff has been here with me. And so our words, the way we speak, the way we emphasize how we say things is consistent. And for somebody coming in new, it's a different language, no matter how long you've been in the NBA. And he was fantastic, questioning things, asking questions, and certainly, you know, I think came with a spirit and a personality right from the get-go.